Hello, hello, hello. Today is day one of our 7 days of belief course, and I am super excited to be with you here today. And for those who may stumble on this video or see me on YouTube, I am Quanda Renee. I am the owner and founder of Flaunt Your Faith. I'm also the new owner of Faith Lifestyler, which is a group and a community for women where we uplift and inspire each other to live a life of faith. And I'm super excited to be here with you today to talk about belief. And for the next 7 days, we're going to dig deep into our beliefs and what we believe and how our beliefs are shaping our life. So if you're watching me through the Facebook group, I want you to go to the file section and download the workbook that says belief workbook or worksheet. And if you can see that, I want you to download that so you can follow along. And if you're watching the replay of this video, feel free to put me on pause and go to the Facebook group, which is Faith Lifestyler, and go to the file section, and I believe it's under belief workbook or belief worksheet, and download that, print it on, and follow along. And again, I thank you for joining me, and over the next 7 days we are going to learn and grow and dig deep into our beliefs. And I believe I mentioned everything. Let me make sure I got everything. Okay, get all the housekeeping out the way so we can move forward. So if you already have your workbook, let's talk about belief. I want you to think for a few minutes. What is your definition of belief? And I want you to take a few minutes and just write it down. I don't want you to go look it up. I'm going to give you the Webster definition. But I want you to take your time and think about what belief is. And again, if you're watching the replay of this video, just put me on pause and just take a moment and think about what your definition of belief is. And while you're doing that, I am going to read the definition. Belief: an acceptance that a statement is true or something exists. Trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. And I'll read that again. An acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. So that's the Webster definition, but I'm going to give you my definition of belief. Belief is what you tell yourself on the inside. It's the story that plays over and over and over again without you moving your lips. It's the story that you tell yourself. I mean, it's easy for us to say, I believe I'm rich, I believe I'm successful, I believe I'm this, I believe I'm that. It's easy to say that with our mouth, but what do we actually believe on the inside? And that's what we're going to dig deep today and talk about and identify, because in Matthew 8:13, scripture says, as you have believed, be it unto you. And that's one of the translations. As you believed, be it unto you. And that basically says what you believe is what's going to take form or happen in your life. And I know a lot of times we say with our mouth, we're believing this and we're believing that. But on the inside, it's a whole nother story. So that's what I want to tackle today. That's what I want to talk about today. That's what I want to identify today. What are your beliefs? And not what you say with your mouth, the story that's being played on the inside. Because that inside story, what's being played on the inside, is what is happening. It's what's taking form. It's what's shaping your life. It's what's shaping your reality. So, okay, moving on. Let's talk about where our beliefs learned. Beliefs are learned. Family, church, friends. Basically, beliefs are learned through our life experiences. I know as a child growing up, a belief I was taught was that money doesn't grow on trees. And as I got older, and I became, I started to look at my own beliefs. I learned that belief that I learned as a child was from a lack mindset. That's from a poverty mindset. Because if you look at money, I wish I had a dollar bill here to show you. If you look at money, all that is paper. And where does paper come from? Paper comes from trees. So essentially, money does grow on trees. And depending on where you are and your mindset and in your knowledge, you know that there's no shortage of money. There may be a lack of ideas. Lack is an illusion. So depending where you are and depending what your beliefs are, you will be made aware of that. So now I want you to go to your workbook and go to the second page where it says, what are my beliefs? And I want you to think about what your beliefs are. And again, not what you're saying with your mouth, but I want you to write down what your beliefs are on the inside. What you believe about your life in general, family and friends, money, your faith in any other area, your career. I want you to identify where you are, what your beliefs are in those areas. And if you're watching the replay again of this, please put me on pause and really think about it. Really go through and think about what's the story that's being played on the inside. And I just gave you an example of money. Do you believe that there's a shortage of money? Do you believe you don't have enough money? Whatever your beliefs are, I want you to identify what those beliefs are. I want you to really, really dig deep and think about your beliefs. And I'll give you a few minutes for those who may be watching me to really think about that. Oh, and let me show you the page on the workbook so that we are all together here. It should say day 1, what are my beliefs? Identify. And I want you to identify your beliefs, whether they're positive or negative. I want you to know where you are so that you can know where you're going. So again, I'll give you a few more minutes if you're watching me live to think about it in those areas. And you can always replay this video and come back to it later. So the next step is, now that we have identified our beliefs, what are our desires? What do you want out of life? In those same areas where you identified your beliefs, I want you to think about what you want out of life. Do you want to be married? Do you want to have kids? Like whatever it is, do you want to make more money? Whatever it is that you're believing for or that you're desiring, I want you to identify and write those down. And I think about it in your life, in your family, in your money, in your faith, in your career, any area of your life. I want you to, and this is the page, what are my desires, day 1. I want you to really think about that. Take a few minutes, and again, if you're watching the replay, feel free to put me on pause and to really, really think about what it is that you are desiring to have in your life. And this is tough for a lot of people because some people do not know what it is they want out of life. And that's where you can identify a stuck person, because they don't really know what they want. And I want you to, when you're thinking about your desires, I want you to be as specific as possible. The Bible says to write the vision and make it plain. And that just basically says, be specific. If you want to make more money, if you're desiring to make more money, how much more money do you want to make? If you're desiring to have more kids, how many kids do you want? If you're desiring to travel, where do you want to travel to? I want you to be as specific as possible so those goals can be obtainable for you. So just take a few minutes and do that. And again, if you're watching the replay, put me on pause and just be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. You're doing this for you. You're not doing this for me. You're not doing this for anyone else. You're doing this to know where you stand with your beliefs and your desires and where you are in life. Okay. So now we identified our beliefs. We identified our desires. Now I want you to look back at your beliefs and your desires, and I want you to see if there's any conflict, any contradictions. And I'll give an example. Let's say you believe that there isn't enough money in the world, but you're desiring to make more money. That's a conflict, because the story that's playing on the inside of you is that there's not enough money, whereas the desire is, I want to make more money. So if you get to that place, if that's like one of your conflicts, I want you to write that down, and I'll show you the page. If you turn over where it says beliefs versus desires, identify any conflict. I want you to really identify and go through every area that you did with your beliefs. Go through every area that you went through with your desires, and I want you to just highlight and write down any conflicts, because that's where the problem is. That's where what we need to fix, what we need to change, so that we are believing right. We're believing for what we want to see in our life. Okay, so after you've identified your conflicts, now I want you to think about what it is you really want in those conflicted areas. Let's say, I'll go back to money, and the reason why I'm talking about money so much today is because a lot of people struggle in this area. So let's say you had a conflicted area in money. Let's say you believe that there wasn't enough money, but you're desiring to make an extra $40,000 a year. Okay, so now we're going to create belief statements. We're going to say, and if you turn over, I created these little, they're supposed to be little index cards, and I think I only made a few, so you might need some more. And what you can do is just get some index cards, and I want you to create new belief statements based on any conflict. So I'll give an example. If the money, you said that you don't believe there's enough money, but you want to make more money, you need to write a new belief statement that says, I believe I have more money, or I believe money is in abundance, or I believe I am abundance, whatever it is, I believe I am wealthy. I want you to create these new belief statements, and I want you to write them down, and you can write them down in the things I provided, but if you need more, you need to make copies, or get index cards. Get maybe 10, 15 index cards and write those beliefs down, new belief statements down. And I want you to read and repeat those new belief statements that you created over and over again. I want you to at least read and repeat them for 30 days consecutively, because what you do for 30 days builds a habit. So we can make that a homework assignment tonight. I want you to, after you identified where your conflicts are, create new belief statements in those same areas. Let's say you want to be a wife, and your new belief statement should be, I am a wife, or I believe I am a wife. I believe I am a mother. I believe I am successful. Whatever it is, I want you to write those down and read them consecutively for the next 21 to 30 days, because whatever you do for the in between that time period builds a habit, and that will be your homework assignment for tonight. And let's see, I'll just do a quick review. We talked about in the beginning, what is belief? And I said that belief by definition is an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. And then I gave you my definition of belief is what you say to yourself on the inside, the story that plays over and over and over and over again without moving your lips, the story that you're telling yourself. So we talked about where our beliefs learned. We basically, beliefs are learned through our life experiences. We talked about what our personal beliefs are in our life, in our family, in our money, in our friends, in our faith, in every area. We talked about that. Then we went on to talk about in those same areas what we desire. And then we identified our beliefs versus our desires. And we talked about the conflict that we identified if we had any conflict in those areas. And now for our homework assignment, we are creating new belief statements, and we're going to read and write these out, and we're going to read and read and repeat these for the next 30 days consecutively, because we know that whatever we do in the frame builds a habit. And that concludes day one of the I Believe, or 7 days of belief workbook and 7 days of belief course. And tomorrow we are going to focus on confidence and building our confidence. Now that we have our beliefs in order and what we want to believe, now we need to talk about having the confidence in those beliefs, having the confidence in God, and having the confidence in ourselves. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and I am super excited that you decided to join me. However you stumbled on this video, however you stumbled on this page or YouTube, or however you're watching me, I don't believe it was by accident. I believe that God put you here for a reason, so you can learn something. And I'm so grateful to share with you everything that God has downloaded with me or into me. And until day 2, which is tomorrow, I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.